Musik kennt keine Grenze. Unter diesem Motto werden heute Musiker propagiert, die so unterschiedlich sind wie ihre Lieder und ihre Herkunftsland. Es ist ein altes Sprichwort, das Musiksprach- und Kulturbarrieren überwinden kann. Aber welche Bedeutung hat Musik im Kontext von Migration? Für Migrantinnen und geflüchtete Musiker aus dem afrikanischen Kulturraum. Gibt es Möglichkeiten, dass Dialogs mit europäischer Musik und wenn ja, wie verändert sich dadurch der eigene musikalische Stil? Ich werde heute zusammen mit 3 Gästinnen zur Diskussion kommen unter dieses Thema Musik im Kontext von Migration. Bleiben Sie dran. More than 200 million migrants live across the globe. Some of them are making headwaves in the music industry, either as full career or part-time. For others, it provides an opportunity to look at their existing knowledge and identity through a different lens. One that emphasizes interpersonal communication and a bilingual, diverse community. You are watching Nyimas Bantaba on ALEX Berlin. My name is Nyima. Welcome to another edition. And today we will actually be talking about music in context from migration. With 3 guests with me in the studio, I have Jahringo, a reggae artist, musician from the Gambia, based in Berlin, and Jaqee Nakiri, also a musiker, and Jamal alias KonTa. KonTa, thanks for that. With me, or with them, I would actually like to find out how the musical arrival of musicians from the African cultural area actually takes place, what difficulties and problems arises, and in what way a dialogue with European musicians and listeners succeeds. You can actually follow us or write to us on nyimasbantaba@gmail.com or follow us on social media at nyimasbantaba TV and so on. And I did like to start with Jamal, and because Nyimas Bantaba is actually bilingual, German and English, so this song would of course be both in German and English. And I did like to start with Jamal. Dankeschön, dass du dabei bist. Und
danke, dass ich hier sein darf, auf jeden Fall.
Wie geht's dir?
Mir geht's gut soweit. Ne? Das ist ein hektisches Leben, aber wir haben es geschafft. Wir sind hier und ich bin froh, hier zu sein. Auch Respekt auf jeden Fall an dich, an die Crew, dass ihr diese Plattform bietet, was auf jeden Fall sehr wichtig ist. Dankeschön auch.
Ich freue mich auch, dich hier zu haben. So, du hast so früh in die Musikbranche eingestiegen, also mit 11. Du hast so einen ersten eigenen Song aus Spaß geschrieben. Was motiviert du zu singen?
Ja, ob ich überhaupt in die Musikbranche eingestiegen bin, ist ja nochmal eine Frage, weil ich nehme mich jetzt eher als außerhalb der Branche oder des Businesses erstmal in dem Sinne wahr. Was mich motiviert hat, Musik zu machen, ist eigentlich so ein zweiseitiges Ding. Also am Anfang war es halt so, bei mir ist es ja sehr stark Hip-Hop, es ist eine Jugendkultur, mit der ich aufgewachsen bin, mit der ich mich identifiziere. Meine Freunde sind um mich herum, es ist einfach eine Energie, so eine gewisse, es macht Spaß. Aber gleichzeitig habe ich auch im Aufwachsen irgendwann gemerkt, dass es auch wirklich ein Kanal sein kann, wirklich um Sachen zu verarbeiten, auch um meine Message unter die Leute zu bringen. Und letztendlich ist es das, was mich am meisten motiviert, um weiter Musik zu machen. So, das ist das, wo ich dann gesagt habe, okay, das ist es wert, wirklich auch mehr reinzustecken, als jetzt nur das als Hobby zu machen. Sozusagen.
Also du hast vorher gesagt, dass du mit Hip-Hop mit angefangen habe, aber was ist bestimmt jetzt, weil ich glaube, du machst außer Hip-Hop auch was anderes. Was ist eigentlich deine Musikgenre?
Das ist wirklich eine gute Frage. Also ich würde sagen, mittlerweile bewege ich mich irgendwo zwischen Hip-Hop, Dub, Reggae, Dubstep, Jungle. Das sind halt so eine Art Urban-Musikrichtungen, so, die mich auf jeden Fall inspirieren, interessieren. Und letztendlich ist ja auch Hip-Hop auch eine Musikrichtung, die ja irgendwie noch mit dem Djembe-Kultur noch verbunden ist, wenn man den Beat guckt und auch über sozusagen die gezwungene Migration, also über die Sklavereigeschichte in die USA, da sind ja auch die Schwarzen und da quasi weiterentwickelt wurde über die Zeit und das ist ja eigentlich Hip-Hop sozusagen, ne? Aber ich bin mittlerweile nicht nur mehr Hip-Hopper, da hast du recht, also die genannten Musikrichtungen so haben schon großen Einfluss auf mich, ja.
Danke. Jaqee Nakiri,
Yes.
thanks for having you here. You look amazing. As always, you know, you have this art, this style that I only see in Jaqee. Really. All the time I'm like, okay. Anytime I see Jaqee, I only see something special, and that's just you. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, tell me, Jaqee, why music? I mean, how did you get into music?
I think for me, music is an extension of words, you know, where I started. Because I, as a child, when I was growing up in Uganda, I was a very silent child, really not really speaking too much and saying too much and not taking too much space. But I found a strong refuge in words. So I was like, I'm a big reader. I read a lot. I enjoy reading, you know. So this was a way for me to get more into the music. You know, music was actually very accidental not really accidental, because I also liked singing. But more people saw the potential in me to vocalize. So that's how I kind of slid into the whole thing. But it all started with me being a big reader.
Wow.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I think we will learn a lot as well, being a big reader on that. But you, like I said, you have a very special art of portraying, especially your music or performances. How best would you describe your music?
How could I describe music? It's a hard question. It's you know, like, usually I'm not really thinking so much about what I want to put out there style-wise, you know. But there's a few things that are very elemental in my expression, and that's really, I'm very focused in trying to stay true to myself, you know, because for every album that I've put out, every project is so different from each other. And every single time, people are like really confused, because like, we thought you're going to do reggae, we thought you're going to do soul, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I kind of need to feel stuff, you know. Maybe I'll do another reggae album, but I need to feel that. I need to be in that space, in that energy. And so I try to stay in this space of where am I in my development, in my growth? What do I want to say? You know, because I don't want to repeat stuff I already said. I already did it on that album, on that song. So then I'm trying to grow. Oh. You know, for me, it's always about growth. I need to grow. I need to experience, to interact with energies.
That's called uniqueness. And I really love the art in you. Like you said, you confuse people, and trust me, you confuse me all the time. And I'm
Thank you.
What a woman, you know.
I think no. You know, we need to understand that. I think it's out of respect for artistry and creativity. You know, it's important to allow artists and creative people, whether you're a painter, whether you're a writer, it's really important to allow people to have this space, you know, because also me just trying to stay in this same streamline, because everybody expects me to, is also not respecting my public, my crowd, you know, and myself and my artistry and the gift that I have. So the whole idea of creativity is that you get ideas and you never know where the idea is going to come from. You know, so I think it's not my intention to confuse people.
No, I mean, you know, it's always good. Sometimes it's not bad to get people thinking, because then they're eager to get from you again and again and again. And
why not?
I'm gonna put a point there, and I go to Jahringo. Good to have you here. How are you?
I'm good.
Today you look different. You didn't look like the reggae man that I always see.
That's a stereotype, you know.
Oh my God. No, we're not talking about racism now.
This is how reggae people look, you know. They look decent, clean, nice.
You look good, you look amazing. Now, tell us about your music journey. How did you also start it? Why music at the first place?
Well, if the question is, how did I start music, I can't tell you. Because, like, music, we grew up in it. Like me, I was born, like, you know, I was born in the Gambia, and then I was born in a village. That's where I grew up. So we grew up with music. Whether you do it or you don't do it, people are doing it. And most of the time we join and we do it. And it was not about a career at that time, like to be a musician or something like this. But it's just the natural environment that you find yourself in. So that way, like music, I was introduced to music when I was young, you know. Yeah, but then when it comes to the journey and how it started to be a career now, that is when I was in my late teens. That's when I started to do music professionally, because then it was not like just like because I grew up on it. It was the time when I started to take my time and my energy to invest in the music, to be able to create things that I and other people around me can identify with, and then bring it out to the people. So this started like around the 2004 or 5, them time now.
Nice. Und Jamal, du hast auch anderen, also Migrationshintergrund, ja, also einer deiner Eltern kommt aus der westafrikanischen Region Guinea, und ich weiß es nicht, wie gut wie gut vernetzt du bist mit diesem Herkunftsland, und mir würde interessiert zu wissen, welche Bedeutung hat die Musik des Herkunftslands?
Ja, also die Musik aus Guinea hat natürlich für mich eine sehr große Bedeutung, definitiv. Also mein Vater war da auch immer früher relativ radikal. Wenn ich nach Hause gekommen bin, hat er gesagt, hier ist die Linie, jetzt ist Deutschland zu Ende, jetzt bist du zu Hause.
Das ist Afrika, ja.
Richtig so, also von daher ist schon auch genau ähnlich wie bei Ringo. Ich bin auch natürlich jetzt mehr hier aufgewachsen, ich bin mit 1,5 Jahren nach Deutschland gekommen, aber bei uns zu Hause, mein Vater hat immer Musik gehört, und natürlich als kleines Kind prägt das einen natürlich ziemlich, und man setzt sich dann auseinander. Ich hatte halt lange wegen politischen Schwierigkeiten, wie das leider so oft ist, nicht die Möglichkeit nach Guinea zu gehen, aber dann irgendwann, also als junger Erwachsener, so ab 20, 23 haben sich die Lage geändert und ich konnte hinfliegen. Seitdem bin ich öfters hingeflogen. Ja, und da habe ich jetzt meine Familie auch getroffen. Da kann ich auch das, was Jahringo gerade gesagt hat, bestätigen. Das ist einfach im Dorf auch so halt, jeder macht Musik irgendwie. Ne? Als wir ankamen, als wir gegangen sind wir natürlich direkt eingestiegen. Plus ich habe halt das Glück, dass mein Cousin auch relativ bekannter Reggae-Musiker in Guinea ist und mit dem ich auch ganz gut vernetzt bin, und so habe ich dann relativ schnell, als ich da war, viele Künstler kennengelernt, die dann im Umfeld mit ihm unterwegs sind. Und ja, das andere ist natürlich, dass ich auch, bevor ich auch nach Guinea gegangen bin, immer danach gesucht habe auf jeden Fall. Also für mich gehört es zu meiner Identität dazu, und dann haben wir oft so Setups gemacht, die so die Musiken zusammenbringen. Also ich habe dann ganz lange gespielt mit jemandem mit Hip-Hop-Beats, aber dann war halt jemand dabei, der eine Djembe dabei hatte auf der einen Seite, auf der anderen Seite aber auch eine Violine. Und so haben wir dann versucht, das Ganze zusammenzubringen. Also das ist schon für mich sehr, sehr wichtig, und auch die Verbundenheit sehr stark sozusagen. Genau.
Die Verbundenheit sehr, sehr stark. Apropos Verbundenheit, Jaqee, we talk about music, background, how you guys started and so on. And I'd like to know from you, what role does authenticity plays in music? You've made mention of being authentic, being unique. You don't want to repeat things. If you did this in this album, another album is a different thing. What role does authenticity plays in music?
I think I would more, when I hear this question, I'm always thinking about why we question, or why we, there is this importance, because of course we make music for ourselves, we love making music for ourselves as musicians, but then there is also this aspect, like every time I'm on the stage, when I'm writing a song, I'm already visualizing the crowd, the stage, the scenario that's going to happen on stage, and the dialogue and the communication. There needs to be this. If there is nothing of this in the song that's coming out of me, then I'm going to trash that song, because so this is for me authenticity, and it doesn't matter from what genre it is. It's for me a communication. It's a way of having the listener understand or get a feeling. Connection. It's connection. So this is really important, and I mean, if you think about all these songs, why do we love people like Michael Jackson? Why are we big fans of people like Beyonce, like Bob Marley, like all these Fela Kutis? They were authentic. They were true to their persona. They were true to the message they were trying to transmit. You know, this makes greatness, and this makes also connection. And it's like, I don't want to waste people's time and energy and money. Period.
You know, for example, this is a big question. For example, in the country I came from, Gambia, often people will be like, the musicians are not doing good. Musicians are saying the fans are not supporting. And, you know, this is why you said you don't want to waste people's time. And I'm like, I think musicians, in as much as they want fans to support them, they should do good. And it all comes to, I don't want to waste people's time. And thank you for seeing that. Jahringo, so obviously, like, you made mention of starting music back home at a village in Gambia. And then you traveled here. Now you do music in Berlin. Obviously, we call it, it's international, it's Western, quite different, perhaps, from the type of music you do, or we do, in, for example, in Gambia. How do you see Western music in comparison to the one played back home?
I won't call like the music that I'm doing as Western music first, you know?
But reggae,
reggae music, yeah, reggae also has its roots in Africa, you know. In a way, reggae is from Jamaica, but if you check it, if you go deep down, reggae has its roots in Africa, and that's where everything is coming from. So Africa is like the main source of everything for me, the way I see it, you know. But when it comes to like the comparison between here, the music that you can make here, and the music that you can make there, the different force come in the context, because like when I was in Africa, the kind of music I was making has more to do with my experiences in Africa, what I was going through, the way I was interacting with the people. This is what will obviously come in my message, you know. And then when you come here, you start to experience totally different things. You see the world in a different way, you know. So the message, in a way, even without you controlling it, changes itself through your experiences, you know. For me, that I will say that has a big influence on my music. The experiences that I have here, the unexpected things that I go through and I see other people go through here. And the way of life of the people here and the people in Africa is totally different. And this has a big influence. This has the biggest Western influence on my music. But when it comes to the music itself, like I will say there is not much difference, because reggae music, like I say, it has its roots in Africa. It's just your understanding of it. And I'm not doing only reggae music. I'm also doing, still now I'm doing African music. Yeah. I'm still doing some dancehall and other kind of music. Yeah, so there's no big change in that area.
You made mention of something very important, and that is like influence, identity. You know, those cultural differences, what you learn, what you see here, and in Gambia, it's quite different. Tell us one or two things that you've personally learned or that has influenced you, and that you could say, this is really different from what I've grown up with.
Yeah. Like if you look at if you listen to my song, Liberation, you will find out that in this song, like this song is talking about Africa, you know? But for me, I will say like this song came through what I experienced here and what other, like for example, as I was growing up in Gambia, I didn't have any problems with race. There was nothing about race.
I think actually it's more of tribal than race, right?
Yeah, but even there's no tribe. Where I grew up, we were all the same tribe. So there is very less that you can use to divide the people. But when you come here, it's different. You have different colors. You have police there. You as a black man there coming new here. Just coming here is a crime, you know, just by coming here.
Yeah, then they start to term you legal and irregular.
Yeah, illegal and all
regular.
Those things. So all these things are a big shock to you. So you find yourself in this. And now you also see there are other advantages that are here too, some good things that are also happening here, and you find out this is your home now, you know. So this change your view of the world, and it change your message automatically. Whether you want it or not, it change your view of the world, and therefore your message, what you're trying to give out. I still don't forget the things I go through in Gambia, and I can still write songs about Gambia. But right now, the messages that I am writing in some of my songs, they have more to do with what I experience here. Like I tell you, we don't have those kind of things like police or races or different people like this. But here, that's the case, and you find yourself in it, and that's what's affecting you and the people around you right now. So your message go in that direction.
Apropos liberation, that song actually, we will play it right after this question with Jamal. We have a song from each of you, and we will play this song and talk about this song. So, Jamal, du hast auch vorher über Identität gesprochen. Wie wichtig es ist für dich, deine Identität zu finden, von deinem Herkunftsland in Deutschland. Und mir interessiert zu wissen, inwiefern dient die Musikpraxis als Maker of Differenzierung und somit als Identitätstätig denn?
Ja, ist halt die Frage, wie man Identität letztendlich definiert. Also ich bin nie ein Mensch gewesen, der so nach dem Motto, okay, ich muss jetzt meine Identität suchen oder so. Ich habe das eher immer so als von außen aufgestülpt erfunden. Bei mir ist auch nochmal so ein bisschen Special Case, sage ich mal, weil mein Papa ist aus Guinea, meine Mutter ist aus Libanon, ich bin geboren in Russland, aber in Deutschland aufgewachsen. So, das heißt, irgendwie ist es schon mal schwierig, mich einzusortieren.
International Mensch, oder?
Genau, so irgendwie schon. Also das heißt, alleine, wenn mich jemand fragt, wo kommst du her, da habe ich ganz viele Arten, wie ich antworten kann. Ich kann dem Menschen sagen, ich komme aus Russland. Da guckt er doof, aber ich habe nicht gelogen.
Sprichst du Russisch auch?
So. Ich spreche nicht, nee, nicht mehr. Als ich klein war, habe ich gesprochen. Dann bin ich nach Libanon, habe ich Arabisch gelernt. Dann bin ich nach Deutschland gekommen. Dann wurde ich Französisch,
Englisch.
Dann genau Deutsch, Englisch sozusagen. Jetzt noch ein bisschen Spanisch.
Bist du Fula oder Mandinka? Weil Guinea?
Wir sind Kisi.
Kisi,
genau. Kisi ist ein ganz kleiner Tribe in Guinea, ganz in the South, im Forest dabei.
Sprichst du auch diese Sprache?
Bisschen, ganz bisschen nur. Ist halt schwierig, weil der Tribe ist nicht groß, das heißt, es gibt nicht viele Leute, mit denen ich hier interagieren kann. Es ist jetzt nicht wie Fula, dass man viele trifft und so. Ne? Wir sind im Wald und es gibt auch nicht viele von uns, die den Wald verlassen, weil der Wald, wir sind zufrieden da eigentlich. Das ist unser Tribe. So, mein Vater ist so der Abenteurer. Das heißt eher für mich meine Identität, das bin einfach ich und das, was mich geprägt hat sozusagen. Und da, ja, weil ich jetzt keine Suche nach der Identität oder auch jetzt, dass ich mich irgendwie einordnen sollte oder sondern ich nehme es, wie es ist und mache das Beste daraus. Ich versuche aus allen sozusagen die guten Sachen rauszunehmen und ja, das ist letztendlich meine Identität. So zumindest versuche ich, dass es das so ist. Genau.
Nice. And speaking of identity again, now, Jaqee, so we still talk about identity. You have lived in both Sweden and Germany.
And Uganda.
And yeah, born in Uganda, right. 3 countries. And what is your musical experiences in both countries? Which one would you say this is really the best? Or this has changed, or this is completely quiet?
I don't think you can choose like that. I mean, really the way, like Jamal is kind of really saying, you really take the best from all worlds. Like, you know, you mentioned earlier that there tends to be like, you seem to be very authentic in your music. And actually the whole secret, which is not a secret, is more that I'm rooted in Ugandan music, Ugandan traditional music. I have like, this is like non-negotiable, you know? And then, of course, I'm taking the best from this. If you look at a tree, it has its roots. It has the stem, and then it has the flowering process. So it's like there is always these phases of growth, of development, of expansion. So it's pretty much the same thing with the way like Jamal is really putting it, that you just take the best from all worlds and you try to really, I look at myself and I'm like, I'm Ugandan, you know, I'm African. It's for me, this is how I see myself. But then how everybody else chooses to see you this is pretty much their own choice, you know. But for the self, I would say like music. I really, it's a blessing for starters to have these possibilities, to experience so much diversity in music, which I have, you know. And that's, I don't know, absolutely like grateful for this, you know, because this is a luxury also.
Yeah, it
is. I just realized that I have this extreme, I didn't know it like for so many years, but now the older I grow, the more I just realize I have this crazy broad repertoire. Like you can put me there and put me to the extreme end and I'm going to be absolutely fine, you know? Because of this possibility to how to be able to experience music in Sweden, music in Uganda, music in Germany, you know?
Apropos repertoire, before we go to that question, we would actually play the song by Jahringo, and that is Liberation. And when we are back, we would actually talk a bit about this song. Stay tuned.
Destruction of belief in Africa. The lack of self-confidence, the feeling that we can't do it. And I think that was also a result of the colonial impact, because I think it was short enough to destroy leadership in Africa, but not long enough to replace it with anything else. So the old ways, the old political...
Elevation time, elevation time. Mix up and yes, this is the time for liberation. Mama Africa awaits a revolution. This is the time for meditation. Free up your mind from the lies and illusions. This is the time for liberation. Come make we stand up and start a revolution. In these are times of elevation, have you keep your head above all pollution. Revolution in the air, my people prepare. No more African children, not to shed no tear. Full time be aware, Babylon no sincere after all. Who has send the guns them out here? Spiritual warfare, they may rage on the people like they don't care. The world we live in is unfair, yet a victim mentality won't take us nowhere. Time for us to rise and realize we must unite and come together as one. We tired of the lies, the alibis. Come make we stand up and go chant them down. This is the time for liberation. Mama Africa awaits a revolution. This is the time for meditation. Free up your mind from the lies and illusions. This is the time for liberation. Come make we stand up and start a revolution. In these are times of elevation, have you keep your head above all pollution. Calling on the soldiers of Mozambique, Kenya and Zimbabwe. Calling on the soldiers of Nigeria, Ghana and Mali. Soldiers of Uganda, Bakongo, tell me, are you ready to uphold the legacies of Kwame Nkrumah, Marcus Garvey and Selassie? Got to liberate, got to elevate, don't you hesitate, it's never too late. Got to liberate, got to elevate, don't you hesitate, it's never too late. Yeah. To the African political actors, professors and teachers and doctors, pleading to the imams and pastors, please tell me somebody cultures. Unity is what we need in Africa. Peace and powers in Africa. In the United States of Africa, free from Asia, Europe and America. Tell me something about Shanghai and Nubia, something about Kemet and Ethiopia. All of the ancient African empires, plus the emperors, real born conquerors. This is the time for liberation. Mama Africa awaits a revolution. This is the time for meditation. Free up your mind from the lies and illusions. This is the time for liberation. Come make we stand up and start a revolution. In these are times of elevation, have you keep your head above all pollution. Yeah, yeah. Go rebel youth, go chant them down. Yeah, yeah. Go Jahringo, go chant them down. This is the time for liberation. This is the time for elevation. This is the time for meditation. And not time for hesitation. This is the time for liberation. This is the time for elevation. motivation. This is the time for meditation.
This is the time to liberate and no time to wait for hesitations. Jahringo, this song actually was done in 2019 and it's just become a hit in Gambia, I mean outside. Let's say you became well known through this song. What is the motive behind this?
Yeah, the motive behind this song is just the African condition that we all know, you know. It's just me contributing towards the liberation of Africa, the liberation of the people of
Through
Africa.
music.
Through music.
Nice.
What I can do, you know. Because music is what I do. And I believe everybody should contribute because the situation of Africa, the way it is, if you know the way it is, then you know that we really need to come together in a way and find solutions. And that can only come if everybody put in their own contribution, no matter how small it looks, you know. So this message is just my contribution to that, you know. It's like to say, this is the time for liberation, because most of the time we think that everything that happened in the past means now it's too late for us to do the things, you know. And we always forget that there are people who fought.
Yeah.
In the past, and if those people didn't fight, maybe even the things that we have right now, we won't have them, or maybe the freedom and all the things that we have, maybe we may not have them. Yeah. So we shouldn't let the works of those people just go in vain. We should also contribute, even if we cannot see an effect right now. We should believe that it may take long, but still our contribution will go a long way to help the other people who are coming after us. So.
Thank you very much, and keep on contributing your quota to have a better Africa.
Sure.
So, apropos Afrika, Jamal, du hast auch vorher auch gesprochen, dass du gut vernetzt bist mit afrikanischen Musikern, zum Beispiel dein Cousin ist ein Reggae-Musiker, und würde mich interessiert zu wissen, welche die Reaktionen auf afrikanische Musik wurde erfahren, seit du so angefangen hast.
Nochmal jetzt die Reaktion von mir auf afrikanische Musik, oder?
Genau, also sagen wir im Comparison.
Also, das ist jetzt tatsächlich schwer zu sagen, weil ich reagiere auf die Musik letztendlich, wie sie ist, oder was natürlich oft, aber was ich vielleicht eher sagen kann, ist natürlich, wie die Leute reagieren, wenn ich so Elemente aus afrikanischer Musik einbaue. So, das kann ich vielleicht eher erklären, und so, das ist halt das ist schon besonders, sage ich mal. Ne? Wenn jetzt, wie ich das Beispiel vorhin genannt habe, wenn ich jetzt einen normalen Gig spiele mit Hip-Hop-Musik, oder wenn jetzt jemand dabei ist und eine Djembe spielt sozusagen, da sind natürlich die Reaktionen schon enorm anders. Ich meine, der Spirit alleine, die Instrumente, auch diese echten Instrumente, sage ich jetzt mal, die lösen natürlich auch viel bei den Leuten aus und viel bei der Kultur. Die Instrumente haben ja alle ihre Bedeutung sozusagen. Und ich denke auch, dass Musik, auch wenn viele Leute das nicht so bewusst ist, immer auch diesen spirituellen Aspekt mitbringt. Was aber natürlich bei der afrikanischen Musik noch relativ gut verankert ist, was man sieht. Und ich glaube, das hat natürlich auch seinen Effekt. Und ja, wenn die Djembe dann ihr Solo kriegt, dann springen alle rum halt. Ne? Das ist halt direkt so. Ne? Das hat, glaube ich, schon einen sehr starken Effekt, einen sehr positiven auch Effekt. Hat aber natürlich auch dieses Ding, dass halt einfach viele so kommen nach dem Motto, so, die eigentlich nicht wirklich so drinstecken, aber halt sagen, aber cool, du hast ja eine Djembe gehabt, oder cool, da war Chora, so habe ich noch nie gesehen und so. Und das ist halt so eine Reaktion, ein bisschen die Leute so aufzumachen, sage ich mal, zu interessieren halt für, was gibt es außerhalb so dieser Bubble-Pop-Musik oder so halt noch. Ne? Und das ist schon auch eine interessante Reaktion, definitiv.
Yeah, danke. Jaqee, so we're talking about music, we're talking about migration, we're talking about identity, uniqueness, you know, speciality and all that all of you have in one way or the other. And I'd like to know from you, like, what impact does music has in migration?
Yeah, absolutely, a lot. But I think it's a very interdependent relationship. You know, I think. Especially since we see a lot of movement happening all over the world, there is a richness in music that's coming up, you know. And really music is exciting because of this fact, you know, like if you look at, I'm always having to say like really, like you said before, like this, I'm so focused, I've always been really focused on the power of the African music, of the djembe, of the earth, of the spirits, of the, you know, it's, the force is huge, you know, whether it's Fela, whether it's Miriam Makeba, whether it's, you know, like there is this power, and you see that from the, like all the way from the electronic music to the, like famous rock guitar players, you know, who are like big fans of Tina Riven and this kind of desert rock, desert blues, and so this is happening. Or Alifakatu, like you have like this happening because of movement, you know, like we keep moving and we keep bringing cultures or indigenous cultures, and these have a lot of power. So it's definitely really, really interconnected with each other. You know, without this thing of movement. And the thing about creative people, we get bored by staying in the same place because we need to experience. So we take information with us wherever we go, and this enriches cultures, you know. Whether it's food or, now we're talking about music, but just take the pizza and the Italians, you know? A simple thing like that, it's like everybody just takes pizza for granted. It's like, I'm just going to eat a pizza. Where did that come from? Yeah. It has a root, you know, yeah? It has a root. So music is absolutely vital to the survival of the human race.
Music is actually...
not just music, but art as an expression.
Survival of the human race.
Yes.
Thank you. Speaking of that, Jahringo, so we've just listened or watched The Liberation. You also do other songs in regards to racism, migrations, and all that. So why racism and migration? What actually motivates you? Has this to do with your status, let's say a migrant, your color, or what's the motive behind?
No, like when I was talking about racism, I was just talking about the difference, like where you come from and where you at, the difference there. And like in Africa, we don't have color differences, race differences, and in Germany here, that's what we have. So obviously there are people who are racist.
So have you experienced this, and this is why
I've experienced that, but I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with music, actually, you know? Like, I was not discriminated because I'm doing some kind of music. Actually, music is something that contributes, I mean, it goes a long way in helping to stop that, because when you are doing music, it becomes like you are speaking a universal language. Somebody may be a different race, but you share in the same language right now. What you play in, what is coming through the speakers, what you're feeling, they are the same, you know? So the color now doesn't matter, you know? So,
the color doesn't matter, thank you for that. And Jamal, ich habe von deinem Bio gelesen, dass du mit deinem chinesischen Eltern bereits in jungen Jahren erzwungen Migrationserfahrungen durch viele Länder sind. Diese Erfahrungen mit deiner Musik, sind diese Erfahrungen mit deiner Musik verbunden?
Ja, ich denke, also automatisch auf jeden Fall. Ich habe diese Erfahrung natürlich in sehr jungen Jahren gemacht. Ich meine, wir sind von Russland nach Libanon gekommen. Im Libanon war Krieg. Und aus diesem Krieg mussten wir erstmal auch wieder rauskommen, um nach Deutschland zu kommen. In der Zeit war halt auch unsere Familie getrennt sozusagen. Mein Vater war der erste von uns, der nach Deutschland gekommen ist. Und dementsprechend spielt es, glaube ich, schon eine sehr, sehr große Rolle. Weil ich meine, neben den Themen, die ich in der Musik thematisiere, ist natürlich Rassismus ein großes Thema, aber auch Krieg ist ein großes Thema in meiner Musik. Es beschäftigt mich sehr. Ich meine, dadurch, dass ich halt da war und das erlebt habe in dem Sinne, weiß ich halt auf jeden Fall, was es ist. Und dass es halt nicht leichtfertig ist, einfach zu sagen, so ja, okay, also Frieden ist jetzt nichts wert oder wir fangen jetzt einen Krieg an und sagen, wenn man das halt abstrakt denkt, man fühlt diese Folgen, die das hat, vielleicht eventuell gar nicht. Und ich glaube, diese Attitude, so sich sehr für den Frieden, für das Miteinander einzusetzen, egal wo man jetzt herkommt sozusagen, ich glaube, dieser Drive kommt natürlich auch schon daher, dass ich halt sowas nicht mehr nochmal erleben will und es auch niemandem wünsche sozusagen.
Ja.
Ja.
Danke. So we will play the song by Jaqee. The song is called Miracle. Interesting. So the art, how it's portrayed and so on, it's all beautiful. So we will go with the song, and when we are back, we will talk a bit about this song. Yo.
I don't know where I'm gonna end today, but I choose to look up to the skies and let them guide me. You gotta trust the universe like a baby to carry you and take you places that you dream of. Spread your wings and fly. Don't be afraid, I will catch you if you fall. Catch you if you fall, I will catch you if you fall. Don't be afraid, I will catch you. Every day is a miracle and you better hold on. You better hold on. Get yourself up and don't you worry about what's gonna come, 'cause you don't know anyways. Every day is a miracle and you better hold on. You better hold on. Get yourself up and don't you worry about what's gonna come, 'cause you don't know anyways. Anyway. I feel so good about it all today. It turns out I will have the best day of my life. I burn so hard believing it's the only way. Burn so hard believing it's the only way. I spread my wings and fly. I'm not afraid, 'cause you will catch me if I fall. Catch me if I fall. You will catch me if I fall. I'm not afraid, 'cause you will catch me. Every day is a miracle and you better hold on. You better hold on. Get yourself up and don't you worry about what's gonna come, 'cause you don't know anyways. Every day is a miracle and you better hold on. You better hold on. Get yourself up and don't you worry about what's gonna come, 'cause you don't know anyways. Every day is a miracle and you better hold on. You better hold on. Get yourself up and don't you worry about what's gonna come, 'cause you don't know anyways. Every day is a miracle and you better hold on. You better hold on. Get yourself up and don't you worry about what's gonna come, 'cause you don't know anyways.
Way better must come miracle from
Anyways.
Jaqee. Wow, that's actually beautiful.
Thank you.
What inspired this song?
There is like the audio inspiration, and then there is the visual inspiration. So the audio is coming, for all the lyrics are coming more from a space where I was struggling, you know, like there was this thing of motherhood and identity and who am I and how can I move on musically and juggle these two worlds of motherhood and survival. And I was in a very lonely place. So I kind of needed, once again, it's like I needed to connect with my soul, you know. So I was like, first it was more like writing a letter to myself and really getting into my spirituality and meditation. But I also realized that this was a song that could actually like lift up more souls, more people. But I needed to like really give myself the promise, like every day is a miracle, so you better hold on, you know, get yourself up and don't you worry about what's gonna come. And then you have the visual footage which is working. There was this really there's everybody in this video is pretty much during the refugee crisis, the Syrians, when there was like this intense flood of a few years ago. And while I was finished recording the song, at the same time in my kindergarten where my kids going, we were like inviting for the weekend all the kids who are like absolutely traumatized by the crazy war zone, you know, like the guns and the bullets and the travels and the exhausted parents, you know. So our kindergarten our kita was taking in these kids for the weekend, and we as parents were bringing our children, you know, who are coming from the very privileged place of, you know, and we got to interact with these children and really see the brutality of war, you know, what war really does to a child. These kids were like in a war zone, you know, and in the video it's grown-ups, you know, but they're also in the same space, you know. So it's very much for me a reminder of our interconnectedness as humans, that we really need to see each other and we need to give plight to each other's causes, you know, and support the system.
Support the system, you know, and give plight to each other's cause. That's beautiful. Und Jamal, also ich habe auch gesehen, dass du viel im Demos bist. Du singst über Rassismus, über Migration und so weiter. Warum? Was ist das Motiv hinter?
Ja, warum? Es ist halt, weil ich definitiv was verändern will an der Lage. Definitiv, also das ist meine Motivation. Ich meine, ich habe sehr viel Rassismus seit Kindertagen erlebt, Kindergarten, Schule, so. Wenn man da nicht drinsteckt, man kann es sich schwer vorstellen, das fühlen nur die es wissen, sozusagen halt, ne? Und Rassismus ist aber auch für mich nur ein Thema, ja, also auch Armut ist für mich ein Riesenthema, ja, und auch die, sage ich mal, Blindheit der Gesellschaft, so. Ich finde, gerade westlichen Gesellschaften sind sehr spoiled, so. Man kümmert sich um sich selber, Hauptsache ich habe mein Haus, mein Auto, so, und dann läuft es. Aber was ist mit dem Rest der Gesellschaft, die diese Chancen halt nicht haben? Und als Musiker oder als Künstler generell, wie Jaqee auch sagte, man kann ja auch manchmal nicht genau die Grenzen ziehen, finde ich, hat man eine große Verantwortung. Weil man ist ja vielleicht ein Sprachrohr für Leute, die sich vielleicht nicht trauen oder nicht die Möglichkeiten haben, sich zu äußern. Und deswegen finde ich auch, dass, so nehme ich das zumindest wahr, automatisch diese Verpflichtung kommt halt aufzustehen und sich für Menschen, die die Chance nicht haben, einzusetzen. Und mein Mittel der Wahl ist halt in dem Sinne die Musik, weil durch Musik sterben hoffentlich nicht Menschen, aber eher die schlechten Gedanken, so. Und da versuche ich halt anzusetzen. Und ich glaube, das ist der Grund, warum ich das mache. Ich fühle das halt einfach. Ich kann jetzt auch nicht hingehen und so irgendwie Lieder, Partymusik machen und nach dem Motto, ja, alles cool, so, und in Wirklichkeit ist es nicht so. Und das wäre für mich nicht authentisch, so. Ja. Ich glaube, das sind die Gründe.
Authenticity is always super important, and you all have a course either to end something, keep on the uniqueness and keep on inspiring, keep on doing what you were doing and keep on being you. Jahringo, you're working on new projects. Like, for example, you're about to launch an album. Last year I've seen you were in Gambia with this rousing welcome, these celebrity stuffs and so on. What's new? What's coming up?
I mean, yeah, the people can see it like that, and it's good. It's a good thing to get those kind of things, like people really gravitating toward your works and things like that. It makes me happy, and I appreciate that a lot, you know. But as for me, it's just the normal work, you know. It's just like every day or every week trying to create one song just to keep the works going on, because that's what make it possible for people to get to know me, and that's what I enjoy. So I always try to, you know, to be up to something. Like you say, right now I'm up to launching an album. I have an album already that I have recorded, and because of the corona, we couldn't fix a date to release it. So, but right now things are going smooth a little bit. So we are thinking of a date now to release it. But that, like I say, that's an album that's recorded and done, but the works never stop. So we are always working. Every week I'm making so that I finish one complete solid song. And then I'm also having some bookings with people. And I'm also working on like a kind of an album with a different producer, which will have to wait until this one is out, and then we bring that one out. You know, so many things are coming up.
Ihr seid alle großartig.
Du auch. Auf jeden Fall. Can just give it.
I mean, I love the energy in all of you. Keep working. Speaking of working, Jaqee, aside music, I saw you do something different. What else do you do? Being a mother, doing music, podcasts. What else do you do?
I think you know, there's always the thing of challenging yourself, and like you say, you keep, because we're not just really musicians or singers. We are really creative people, like very involved in the processes, you know, whether it comes to the writing of the songs or the performance, or like you say, booking, and so we saw there is always something happening. So for me, the challenges, I'm always having a lot of ideas. There's so much things I want to do, and I feel like at the moment I've done a lot of singing and I've done a lot of performing on stage that I need a bit of challenge. You know, I need to grow. I really need to grow. So, so these things are probably going to pop up in visual stuff, or completely different expressions, very, very different expressions. Or maybe I start making creams.
I look forward to that.
No, because I do this stuff that it's like there is, you know, creativeness just doesn't have boundaries, you know, and it could be like planting. That's being creative too, you know. That's like writing a song.
I really look forward to that. We have 7 minutes to go. Jamal, meine letzte Frage an dich, und dann, wenn wir deine Musik spielen, also dein Lied, und zwar hast du auch was neues Projekt? Was machst du gerade?
Ja, was mache ich gerade? Ich bin auch sehr, sehr eingebunden. Ne? Ich bin ja auch irgendwie, man beschreibt mich oft als Musiker / Aktivist so. Und natürlich habe ich auch mein Ding, um irgendwie über die Runden zu kommen, sage ich mal, im System zu überleben. Gleichzeitig bin ich natürlich auch sehr bei dem Jam Club involviert, glaube ich, den wir auch alle kennen. Und ja, kämpfe eben stark dafür, dass es auch mehr eine Plattform wird, um Künstler, Künstlerinnen, wie wir sie hier haben, sozusagen auch mehr zu pushen und das mehr zu integrieren im Jam. Und das ist alleine schon eine große Herausforderung. Ja. Gleichzeitig ist es natürlich aber auch ähnlich wie Jahringo. Ich habe auch beide EP ready sozusagen, die ich produziert habe. Und ich bin halt auch mehr der Live-Musiker. Also ich mag es, auf die Bühnen zu gehen und das rauszubringen. Und für mich ist es irgendwie, fühlt es sich komisch an, was halt nur digital zu releasen, aber das dann halt nicht richtig performen zu können. Aber ich denke, dass wir alle hoffen können, wenn es die Lage zulässt, dass die Zeit jetzt wieder gekommen ist, auch in die Richtung weiterzugehen. Yes.
Hoffentlich Corona. Wir werden jetzt deine Musik oder dein Lied spielen. And when we're back, I think we will close because we have less than 5 minutes.
Check. Ja. Ich such den Exit schon eine Zeit lang. Man sagt, halte den Körper im Einklang mit dem Geist jederzeit, sonst wirst du vielleicht verurteilt zum Scheitern. Ich will mein Spektrum erweitern, bleib dran, mein Bruder, schau dir nur mal all das Leid an. Wie lang willst du noch warten, bis man uns von hier befreit? Wann begreift man, dass Mörder auf ihren Konten unsere Lebensenergie in Form von Geld speichern, die sich an uns bereichern, tanzen in schicken Kleidern, moderne Kaiser halten nix von Marktweibern. Alles was sie interessiert ist ist, wie können sie ihren Wert am Markt noch weiter steigern? Zeit, sich den Scheiß zu verweigern, von wegen mach dich frei von dem Neid, Hass und Streit, um klar zu sehen, don't believe der Hype, ist es falsch, steh dagegen, oder wir killen den Wald und vergiften den Regen. High Life oder ersticken in Elend, es ist sick, wie wir leben, verzwickte Systeme sollen uns jeglichen Blick für das Wichtige nehmen, sich dagegen erheben, die Pflicht eines jeden. Ich träume, so wie Martin Luther King, von einer Welt, in der wir alle glücklich sind. Nenn mich naiv, von mir aus nenn mich blind, doch ich glaube auch tief in deinem Herzen lebt dein Kind. Ich träume, so wie Martin Luther King, von einer Welt, in der wir alle glücklich sind. Nenn mich naiv, von mir aus nenn mich blind, doch ich glaube tief in dir drin. Manche wollen in Zukunft wieder zurück in die Vergangenheit, decken uns mit leeren Versprechungen auf Plakaten ein. Eigentlich sollte der Scheiß schon längst belanglos sein. Adolf oder AfD, das Ende ist am Ende gleich. Einer der Gründe, aus dem ich Hände reich, auch wenn viele zu mir sagen, mein Bruder, du verschwendest Zeit. Sende Lines an unbekannte Empfänger, Untergrund, Freitag-Beats, hör mal, wer da hämmert. Sitz in meinem Keller, es ist Anfang September. Mal schauen, wie die Dinge sich im Lauf der Zeit noch ändern. Hoffe auf das Gute, hab gehört, dass davon allein nichts kommt, es sei denn jemand tut es. Besser, wenn man dabei immer auf der Hut ist, weil hier einer nie genug kriegt, ist der andere schnell verblutet. Was zutrifft, ist, dass die Lage sich langsam zuspitzt. Bleib mutig, weil es hier einiges zu tun gibt.
Was träumst du von über das Lied?
Ja, ich träume, also letztendlich träume ich genauso wie das im Hook, ne? Wie Martin Luther King, von einer Welt, in der wir alle glücklich sind. Definitiv. Also es ist einer meiner Träume so, dass man es wirklich schafft, sozusagen in diese Richtung zu kommen, wann auch immer. Weißt, vielleicht gehen wir diesen Stück einen Weg und geben dann den Stab an unsere Kinder weiter. So, vielleicht erreichen wir das noch so. Man muss ja auch irgendwie, sage ich mal, an Sachen glauben, ne? Weil wenn ich nicht dran glaube, dann kann ich mich direkt schon begraben, sage ich mal. Ne? Und in dem Sinne, ja, träume ich auf jeden Fall schon davon, dass wir versuchen, diese ganzen Differenzen zu überwinden und es irgendwie schaffen, zumindest eine Basis zu finden. Dass man sagt, okay, ich respektiere dich, du respektierst mich, wir sind alle verschieden, aber wir schaffen es in Frieden, gemeinsam zu leben. So, das ist der große Traum, sage ich mal.
Hoffentlich schaffen wir dieses Traum zusammen. Jaqee, finally, last word. I've asked them about their new projects. Anything new? In 50 seconds. What are you working up to now?
Yeah, there is a lot of new stuff coming up, but I am still putting the puzzles together. But I am definitely working very intensely with a very like my identity as a Black Ugandan woman in the music industry in this world. I don't know that we call show business, you know. But it's a very, very personal journey, extremely personal. Yeah, but I'm still putting the puzzles together. I can't talk too much about it yet.
We will talk about it someday, maybe. Speaking of putting the puzzles together, Jahringo, my last question to you: has the music repertoire changed since arriving in Germany? I mean, how you see music in Gambia and in Germany.
Can you say, saying your big words here?
So we have 1 minute, 43 seconds. So you respond in 43. I mean, what has changed since you started?
Yeah, almost everything changed. It's just the person that doesn't change, you know. Change is constant. Everything is changing. And since I arrived here, like I say, everything changed. The people changed. The way you see the world, it changed. It's like, it's a shock, you know. And then you realize, okay, I have to deal with it. Then you find a way, you find out people, actually there is evil in people, but people themselves, they are not evil. So we keep fighting to show the people that at the end of the day, we are all one people. We can all share the same thing, and music is just one of them. So this is how it's going.
Respect to you all. That's all we have for you on Nyimas Bantaba. Bantaba is actually an open platform where people sit down and talk about everything that is actually affecting or happening in the society. But we have a focus, and that is migration, women empowerment, and culture. And today we actually talk about one of those focuses, that is migration and music. How is migration in context from music? My guests were Jahringo from the Gambia, a reggae artist, Jaqee Nakiri, Ugandan based in Berlin, and Jamal. It's a pleasure having you all here. Until I come your way next, my name is Nyima. Das war's alles von uns in unserer heutigen Sendung. Das war Musik im Kontext von Migration. Mein Name ist Nyima. Schickt uns ein E-Mail oder folgt uns auf unseren sozialen Medien-Kanälen auf Nyimas Bantaba oder ein E-Mail an nyimasbantaba@gmail.com. Bis zum nächsten Sendung. Ciao.